Yes. Well, that's it. You just do what you can.
So I'd like to, still do some drawing, but I'll
Yeah.
have to pick and choose a bit
Well,
with it at the
that's
moment.
why we do them like this, so
Yeah,
people can
yeah,
dip in and out.
yeah.
Because money's tight for everyone, isn't it? So it's sort of
But I
you can
thought
do whatever you want.
they made a lovely job of it.
Yeah, what yesterday's drawing class?
Yes,
Do you know what?
yeah,
It was a difficult image,
yeah.
but the whole point of the class was to how to
Break it
simplify.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, how to
it's very
simplify.
informative with the photos
And
and
we looked at the lights and the darks, and
yeah,
because it turns out that the bridge was the focal point because everything leaded towards, it led the eye towards it. So
I reckon I've seen. Is that at
it is
Knaresborough?
Knaresborough,
I
yeah.
reckon it was on Landscape Artist of the Year.
It's a very popular
Yeah,
scene. So I thought we'll do that, and it's a good because it wouldn't work in pastels and it
no,
wouldn't work in
no,
watercolor or it
no.
drawing is the only lesson that
Yes,
would work
yes.
in. But this one, you see, um, what I'm interested in looking at is can you see the stones? There's lots of layers of stones, so we might have to make the behind ones a little bit lighter because otherwise, like this, if this one here could end up looking like it's just attached to this one.
Yes.
So we might have to make that a little lighter to bring that archway forward.
Forward.
Because that's the only thing.
Yeah.
But I just like the triangular composition of it. So we'll work out how to sketch it. I really did toy with the colour of the paper today. Would it be grey? Would it be blue? Would it be? And I thought green. We'll go with green because it is a similar tone.
Yeah. Haven't you got some lovely colours in the clouds at the back?
Yeah. Well, you've got that nice glow,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that'll be really good. Because
Yeah.
I know in the pastel sets that we use, I haven't got mine are all. I've got very long arms. We've got quite a few nice greys, haven't we? So
Yeah.
that'll be useful. Good morning, online people, as well. By the way, I'm not being rude, but we were chatting about work, so that's fine. So I think we have got a grey pencil as well today. We've had them in the pot, but we've not really needed them. So I'm hoping that will be enough to show up on the screen to sketch it out. So we'll work it roughly. Our paper is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go 3 fingers down from the top because this is the only one that we'll have to really look at. You alright? You got stuck?
I'm trapped.
We keep students in, you see. Once they're here, we don't like to get rid of you.
How far down?
3 fingers from the top. And actually, 3 fingers from the bottom-ish gives us that rough idea. So we'll sketch out, and we're sketching out in grey because we know everything's going to get covered in grey, either the stone or the sky, so we'll be alright. I'm going to move it in a fraction, so I'm going to bring it in at least a finger width from the edge. And we can rough it up and what have you later, but now you see that the background one, which is the one that starts there, is actually 4 fingers up from the bottom, even though the top is very similar. So if we do something that's about a finger width all the way up, And then the top stone is a thumb width. Which comes in about 2 fingers across. So that's the behind one. And then we can work out the stone. And the thing is, because the stones are all the same height and it's on a plane which is flat, everything's quite level. You have to get at some really interesting angles to take different unusual photographs of Stonehenge. But I did just like the layout of this, because the foreground stone is about 3 fingers wide, and that goes to slightly under that one. And you can't see the side much on that. You can kind of see a little indication of the edge. Then a thumb width in, you've got a hint of the side. I'm trying to do this thicker and dark and stronger so you can see where this goes, and from that I've done like a finger width edge of the stone, and then if I do 4 fingers across, that will give me the top. We will do a bit of the underneath in a minute, but have I given you? I'm giving you a putty rubber, have I?
Oh, come on.
What a
Barry.
failure I am. What a failure.
You're fixated with me cotton buds.
I know. I'll have to make sure she's got the cotton buds. V's still got a bad back, unfortunately. She must have really done herself a mischief. But I suppose even if her back isn't as bad now, sitting on a chair, these chairs are for 2 hours is a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the other stone that this sits on is about 2 fingers wide, the gap, 2 fingers gap, and then we'll definitely see the inside slightly higher, and this whole thing is about 2 fingers. It makes you wonder how these stand up.
Well, we never know.
No, we'll never ever know. I was saying, we were talking downstairs about Banbury Cross, the actual roundabout cross, not the original site of the cross. But there's always been some sort of monument where the Banbury Cross roundabout is that predates the Vikings. And I found that out because I was looking for something to do, because we've got the logo is, on the town council, the crest, everything to do with Banbury is the sun. And there's one school of thought that Banbury is a derivation of Bainesbury, which is a Viking thing, but then there's also a school of thought that it's a derivation of Amesbury or Ambersbury, which is amber stone, meaning the sunstone.
Right.
Because I was reading, where's my phone, to Roger, an article I found in a newspaper from the year 2000, and it was saying that on the summit of Bredon Hill in South Worcestershire stands a stone elephant known as the Banbury Stone or Banbury Stones, and it's on a ley or spirit path marking sunrise and sunset at the equinoxes. Come here at dawn or dusk in late March or September, and you'll witness the alignment with the British camp on the Malvern Hills to the west, and Saintbury Cross, Dover's Hill, and Castle Hill just north of Brailshill, and most significantly, Banbury Cross in the east. So it's all on an alignment on a ley line to the equinoxes. And this article in the Independent said Banbury is a corruption of amberstone, meaning sacred to the sun, which would make sense. So it seems like whatever's been on Banbury Cross roundabout has been there predating the Vikings, because it's all to do with spirit ley lines. Hello, Jackie. Good morning. Isn't it warm and sticky? Isn't that lovely? No, it's going to get to 26 today, 29 tomorrow. What for tomorrow? Gosh, no. We'll pretend that doesn't happen. Now you can just about pencil width make out the underside of this stone top. And then that one behind is another finger width wide and about a finger width high. And there's only a little bit of a gap before there's the other stone, isn't there? It kind of comes out like that instead of a straight line. I'm going to give it a bit more of a gap because it's going to be a bit easier to see. Something like that. We're not going to put the people in, Kath, you might be pleased to know.
Right.
Because I think they're too small.
Yeah, they would just look stupid.
They would.
I'm not going to have as much room on the right hand side as on the picture. I've gone off piece.
Well, that's all right. So about 2 fingers up from this stone bottom is where the horizon line is. So I'm just going to go across like that. Because it's good to sketch it all out, isn't it? And
Definitely.
saves a lot of hassle when we know where we're going. You know, now you're in, Jackie, I'm going to just pop the fan on low above my head, because all the other fans are facing outwards and none of them face me. Oh, that's good on the top of my bald bits.
You're admitting to those now?
No, they're not there. My genetics say I won't go bald.
Oh, they're wrong, aren't they?
No, I've always had a 5 head rather than a 4 head. I have gone a bit thin at the back, but I'm not going to go baldy bald like my granddad. He was bald at 22. My granddad, he had no hair at all. My brother's bald. My nephew, my sister's son, he's bald. I'm not.
My lad was in sixth form, so at 17 was bald.
Oh.
Was it 17? That's not good, is it?
I mean, I doubt I'll have a full head of hair in the next 20 years, but I think I'll still keep what I've...
You're tough.
Will you let it go gracefully?
No, I will. I do pluck all the white, some of the white hairs out of my chin, because they're a bit prolific now. I've grown my beard more. If I shaved you, I wouldn't look that grey.
No, but
But I did start for one of the gig. I started plucking the white hairs out, and I thought I'm gonna have to stop because I'm gonna have a bald chin in a minute if I keep going. But I don't mind. I don't mind. You see, being a ginger, I'm not gonna have a lot of grey. I'll just go sandier. I've got black in my hair, in the lower part, because people used to think I dyed my hair ginger because my neck hair was black, and I go, do you really think I'd dye it this colour?
You dye your head hair.
No, it's all natural. I don't dye anything.
Really?
My mum was
You're very
72.
lucky.
My mum was 72 when she died, and she had two little wisps. She got brown hair with ginger, like a bit like your mum's more of a ginger than me, than my mum. But she had brown hair with ginger glow, and she just had two little wisps of white hair. My dad, however, had a full head of ginger hair, but it all went white by the time he was in his 50s. But he was very poorly, so we'll let him off. Right. 3 fingers across from the edge of that stone is where that other marker stone is, which is a finger up and then 3 fingers high. Looks like a milk bottle. I'm going to call it the milk bottle. Well, let me enlarge the screen for you. I forgot to do that. I didn't do that on yesterday's class until ages. There we go. Now there is 2 other layers of hills behind. Well, there's kind of another little hill that goes lower to higher. And then one that does the opposite, about a pencil width. Kind of like that. So we've got 2 layers, but they're sort of so grey. You can just about make them out on the picture, can't you?
Yeah.
And then there is a few bits of stone. That one on the floor there, it's kind of level with that one. And that's 4 fingers wide.
Not on mine.
It's not.
That's alright.
Yeah, don't
It's
matter.
good to go off the edge of the page.
It is. Go off the edge. And there's another little one.
That one by the markers, by the milk bottle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want to put the others in at the back.
No, I think it's too many layers. It's going to be tricky enough. I reckon that's about it for the drawing then, don't you?
Yeah. Definitely.
It's just, do you know what? I was saying that we might have to make that lighter in the background. In fact, I think we might have to make it a little bit darker instead.
Well, I didn't like to argue and get, because I know my place.
You've had a change of tune since your holiday.
It won't last, but I did think, why is he making the back?
Lighter. It depends what you want to bring out, but I think that has got to be darker, because otherwise, if it's too light, it won't look real. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one with this, because there's a lot of layers. I want to put a bit of a glow in my sky,
Oh dear.
and there's... Oh, now. There's one here. I can't tell what colour it is. Hang on, let me clean it. I've used it a lot. It's kind of like an ivory peach colour. Really pale. I've either got that one or I've got a flesh tone. Ooh, that one.
That one.
Do you think? Or do you think there's a fleshy tone one there?
I'm going to go with that, I think.
Yeah.
I'd say that because I'm not so keen on the fleshy tones.
Well, I don't think the pink will work well with this. I think that it needs to be more of an ivory
Yeah.
buttermilk. So I'm just going to shove that up here. I'm not going to blend it out or anything yet, because we can let that in. However, what I will want to do is put a bit of white round about there, so it's given us more of a glow before. But again, I'm not going to be blending. Just trying to work out which. Ah, right, okay. I found the lighter grey. There's 3 greys that look almost identical. And it isn't until I scribbled a bit on the paper that I thought, that's the one. Because there are these 2, which
Yeah.
we'll probably end up using for those layers there.
Yes, yeah.
So that can be a whole sky. I'm just going to fill it all in. We'll add some white to it for texture as well, but you could have done this morning, Jackie. So I'm really tempted to get the finger and smudge and blend, but actually I'm going to wait. Need to make sure I'm going in. There's only one gap, isn't there? I might even use a bit of that creamy colour in bits of the cloud before I blend. And then I'll add a bit of white in there as well later on. So I've added some of that cream. And then I'll find a clean finger already. They're filthy, so it's going to be tricky. And I'm starting in the lightest area and blending out and down. Because if you start in the grey, everything's going to go grey. I'm trying to keep as much pastel powder on my paper as I can, because it'll come in handy. Back with that creamy colour and because once you've pushed it in a little bit, you might then need to go back with a little bit more, and instead of rubbing with my finger, I'll just give it a bit of a tap, so it only blends it in slightly. It's a very misty morning on that photograph. It's a very beautiful morning here today. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it's a bit hot. My gingerness can't really cope with it. I was telling Kath we had an extra student last Thursday, Archer,
Oh, yes.
and he's coming this afternoon.
Oh.
He was a good boy. He liked you, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yes. It's your humility that they like the most. Use my white pencil to get a little bit more. It's trickier than it looks to get a full clouded sky, isn't it? I'm going to have to blow this away. So I can see what I'm doing. I think that's looking okay. I've made that white too much of a circle, so I'm having to blend it in with the white pastel to just give it more of a glow rather than a round. I might add. Do I want to add any purple in the sky? Maybe add a little bit of purple on the upper left. The dark purple. You don't have to do this. If you don't like purple, then you can have to add it. But I think it'll add an extra bit of texture because we'll have like the lighter on the right and more purple tones. Yeah, that looks alright actually. So don't forget, if you want softer edges but you still want a little bit of delineation or detail, just tap with your finger rather than rub.
You've been to Stonehenge, Barry?
Have I been? No. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did you go close?
There's a fence, but it's closer than you think.
I watched the equinoxes because English Heritage do live streams on Facebook at the sunsets and the sunrises with locked off cameras, so you can experience the beauty of it without actually being rammed by the crowds. Did it feel magical to you?
Yeah, actually.
Got a power.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Have you done Stonehenge, Kath?
I've been, but not to Equinox or anything.
No, I wasn't there for an equinox. Just
I went years ago, but I really like Avebury.
yeah, I've been there as well.
See, I haven't done any. Rollright's the nearest, isn't
My
it? I
brother used to
suppose.
live very near Avebury for a bit, and I went to.
I've never been to
visit him.
Rollright. I've been to the village of Rollright, but I've never been to the Stones.
Oh,
Have you?
yeah, that's
I
nice.
have.
Yeah.
I've never been anywhere because I only when I lived here, I only ever come to work and then go home.
You'll have me in tears, Barry. I feel as though we should have a Thursday morning and I'll take you
A
somewhere.
trip out.
We could go and sketch on plein air.
Do you know? I have thought
I'm not
about.
driving you to Stonehenge. It's a very long
It's a bit of a long way.
It's
Well,
awful.
yeah, we could do Rollright.
Yeah,
I have
Stonehenge.
thought about
No.
next year. I've thought about
The
booking.
distance is the traffic, isn't it? When you get to the queue.
Yeah,
Remember that?
a lot of
The
queues.
of traffic to get into it.
But I have thought about having a week off next year.
Steady
Well,
on.
well, not actually a week off, but a week away from here. I thought if I booked that little cottage in Wales that I grew up holidaying in, I could actually do some tutorials on how to paint waterfalls and views from real life. And still holiday, but do either live ones or face-to-face ones. People could come and visit for the day and do that. I don't know. I haven't. And if I timed it right, you see, I could have it the Saturday of when I go to Wales anyway, the one Saturday, and then have the whole week just being in a waterfall, really, in a mossy forest. Because you can't have 3 days away there, you have to book it for a week. So I did think about that, but I probably won't do it. But the lady that owns the farm where the cottage is isn't getting any younger.
Do they have stone stones in Wales?
Yeah, there's one in the back of the cottage. It's just one stone. I've painted it once. Near Cregennan Lake, there's just a big monolith stone just stuck there on the ancient road from Arthog to Dolgellau, round the back, towards Cadair Idris. Yeah, there's standing stones in Scotland as well, isn't there? There's a lot of.
I've been to Switzerland.
It's a very.
To Callanish in the Outer Hebrides.
Have you?
Stones. Yeah. That was very nice.
I don't know if I can do any more to this sky. I'd be tempted to do a bit more white, but I don't know. That I think the sky will glow more as we slowly get rid of the greens. Well, we're not going to get rid of all of the greens. I've now got to work out which of the other two greys is darker. Right, okay. The tree line one, I found the darkest of the greys. They all look very similar.
My children describe that as a load of rocks.
A load of rocks.
Yeah.
That's something for TripAdvisor, isn't it?
Disappointing cafe.
A load of rocks with a disappointing cafe. What, Stonehenge?
Yeah.
Heathens.
Cafe is actually very good.
Where's the cafe?
There's a cafe in the visitor centre next to it. You have a visitor centre with like an exhibition, like, I don't know if the exhibition ever changes, but it might
Because you have to pay to Stonehenge, don't you? I think. If you go into the one thing, if you go down the one path, you have to pay. But if you don't go down the path, you don't have to pay.
No, it's like you're free because you're a member of Heritage.
Oh, I'm a member of of English Heritage. Yeah,
You wouldn't have to pay anything. You don't even have to pay for the car park.
that's good.
Membership has its privileges.
I'll use a slightly lighter grey, but I'll need my cotton bud because I want the grey to tint the green more than anything. There, that's better. That feels quite misty. But now I need to find the grey again for my sky and neaten up. Oh, that one. Oh, that's a good grey. That's not the grey that I wanted. That's better. Might even use a little bit of the dark green over the top of this grey to give me a bit of land. I know it's misty, but it's so weird that three greys look so identical yet and nothing at all alike. See, my box has got all mixed up over the years. It would offend your eyes, Jackie. Because I know you like things in order in pencils, don't you? Look at this, I've got... I told you it would. I knew it would. I just knew.
It's unnatural.
It is unnatural, and I do find it upsetting myself because I can't find the right thing.
When I compare that, Pastel, you won't get money with this time.
She better not be any good. Coming in off an holiday and then doing good work.
Yeah, I think she's doing them more.
For goodness sake, that's £40.
No, I need the money, Kath. I'll just scowl at you from across the room.
That won't worry me. I've been scowled at by professionals, Barry.
You're not saying I'm not a professional, huh?
Well, I've been scowled at by a lot scarier people than you. I have.
That's a nice sky, that. Was that the pencil you put in, the ochre pencil?
Yes,
That's nice.
Very nice.
thank you. I do get in a mess and lose me.
I know, well, that's why I'm not doing the grassy bit yet, because I know I'll lean on it.
Do that yet.
I'll lean on it, and then we'll get absolutely covered.
I haven't done as many clouds as you.
Well, I really haven't done that much in that one. Look, if you look in real life,
Yeah.
the
Oh, I
the
see,
camera
yeah.
tends to pick
Oh,
it up a
does,
bit more. We found that in the gouache class, haven't we, Jackie? That the camera tends to find the chalkiness of it and isolate it and make it more than it is. In fact, I'm only going to do, and I'm going to use my light green pencil.
Light green.
Yeah, right on the back, and just skim it over there. Because I don't want it orangey. I want the orangey greens to be more to the front. So I'm just going to do that. Level with those rocks, so then I'm not leaning. And the other green is still showing through. Da-da-da. Birds are loud today. Didn't hear them the other day. I'm missing Canal Day. First and second, it's a Saturday and Sunday in October. The 1st and 2nd of October. Because I'm gigging in Wallingford for the 1940s event. But I am thinking to see if we can get a stall for the Christmas market again. I know how much you love that event. Hmm? Yes, my valued member of staff. How many Sundays do I ask you to work a year?
At least one, and that's Saturday.
One Saturday and one Sunday a year. I think that's not much, is it, really? Because I could ask you for your help on the what? You don't even know what I'm going to ask. But for the town mayor's Sunday in the park. In July. 10th of July.
All the kids are doing a rose garden.
Today. Do you know, I thought that because I went down to take some photographs because it looks really beautiful and all the flower beds were marked off and spray painted and stuff, and I thought, because I nearly did an Old Town post of, oh, it's soon be time for the preparation for the kids to do the park, but they're doing it today. So on my way home, they'll all be up, so I'll take some photos for the Old Town page. That's good. Now, I suppose I might use the black pencil to refine my rocks. Especially the behind. Oh no, that's to come out more. There. I don't want these to be black, but it is a tricky one. Because I've lost my stones, but I've made them very perfect, not as if they were thousands of years old, so I'm having to rough them up a little bit with my pencil now. Didn't we work out, Jackie, that when the Chinese were learning calligraphy, we were building Stonehenge? Because they, I mean, I know they made paper 1,000 years before us.
Mind you, I think people underestimate what prehistoric Britain was.
Well, I agree.
Every time they find, did you see that thing they found on an HS2 route?
No.
The whole burial ground from like the Dark Ages with beautiful glass bowls and things like this. And it's like
But you know, if
intricate.
we
Yeah,
suddenly,
that's in the news today. They had Dan Snow being interviewed about it.
I'll have to have a look at that.
And this was amazing, really, because like, how did they move that from Wales?
What, Stonehenge?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Salisbury and Wales aren't that near each other.
It's quite a long way when you're
It is, absolutely. And you're lugging massive.
You're lugging
monoliths. But what I find fascinating is that if as a civilization that we're in now, if suddenly there was a solar storm and it knocked out all electricity, we'd have a period of time of our own dark ages where we'd still be extremely civilized, but you know,
I think it's just because we don't have much written. We don't really
exactly.
written
I mean, when you
history.
think the Romans had central heating, the Egyptians invented batteries.
I think
Everything's a cycle with civil. Look how skillful the stonemasonry is of the Incan civilizations.
oh, that's not very
That's not that old. But even so, it's a technology and a skill that a lot of people wouldn't be able to master now.
no. I know Machu Picchu is younger than Oxford University.
Is it really?
So,
But that's a bit like Stonehenge and Chinese calligraphy, isn't it, really, when you think about it like that? Machu Picchu's younger than Oxford University. Did you know that, Kath?
Yes,
Did you?
I do.
Oh. Well, I didn't.
I'm very interested in things like
Yeah.
that and the depth of the knowledge that
Ye-
we don't know anything about.
well,
Yes.
This is what I mean. We don't know what people were like in this era. But I bet they were more.
Well, it's the same as like the Neolithic man. We just think of them wearing a loincloth of fur and clubbing women on the head and dragging them back to a cave. But I don't actually. I think there was hierarchical society members. I think it was a lot more.
But when you look at the artwork that they found in,
Yeah.
in France and Spain, it's pretty impressive.
Especially when you think now that the theory is that it's a cinema. You know, moving images with candlelight, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Or
that's
firelight.
been a theory for quite a while.
Mm. But it's come to the fore again more recently. But I think it's a little bit more. I think it's just
I watched a Disney
arrogant,
really old
isn't it, on our
film
part?
about animation presented by Disney, Walt Disney Productions, and it's about sort of 1940s, 1950s little program. You can watch it on Disney Plus. And the guy has a pipe, and it says smoking is depicted in this. You know what I mean? And a really old man, and he says in that early animation is like cave paintings.
Mm.
Talks about it in that. He says,
But I think it's arrogance as a modern society that we always presume that previous civilizations were more inferior than our own. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I mean the intricacy of the Anglo-Saxon jewellery. You know, it's it's amazing.
Those things that they found in the Ballsings around Scotland. Have you seen them?
Yeah. Right, I need a darkish grey now, similar to the dark grey that I had in the background, but I can't. These greys are so blooming hard to. No, not that one. Must be that one. I'm gonna let the so this is the quite a dark grey, and I'm gonna let the green show through. So I'm not pressing down hard. I'm kind of skimming. Over the top with that dark grey, and then I'll use a little bit of black. Oh, I forgot the top stone. I'll use black and white pencil to try and make it a bit more solid. I've realised on Saturday in June, Jackie, I'm going to have to do I want to do the Armed Forces Day parade on the Old Town thing, so I'm going to have to start my free lesson a little bit later after the parade has walked past, because I'm not going to be able to be heard over the parade anyway, so I might as well be out and filming it for those that can't get into town. There's not a lot of fracture lines in these stones, but I'm doing them quite dark. I always feel like Tony Hart when I use pastels. Except I don't say tissue. Tissue. You need a tissue. There is a cute little bird on the top. Are you going to put the bird on, Cal?
No. You have to rely on Norman for stuff like that.
Oh, we did a cracking one yesterday. Did you see with his hot? Because I mentioned a hot air balloon because I said something wrong and I said hot air balloon instead of hot water bottle, and that must have inspired him. It's nearly cup of tea o'clock. Oh, there's going to be complaints today, I think, because there are cars getting parking tickets before 10 o'clock in Parsons Street who are offloading their businesses. I mean, how bad is that? You're allowed the only time we're allowed to come up here legally is before 10 and after 4:30, and yet they're still ticketing cars who are trying to access their own businesses. That's so bad. I don't know if there's anything I can do from the Old Town point of view to speak to Oxfordshire Council. But it's hard enough owning a business in the town centre of a pedestrianised area. But when you're trying to access it at the time that you're allowed, and then you're still given a ticket, it's a bit naughty. So these are the ones that are just behind. I'm kind of doing it a bit stripy. I'm trying not to blend because I want the texture of the stones. And then you can see the underside of this one. That's really dark. So that one's going to have to be a little bit lighter there. So it's about contrast. And when I was chatting to Kath this morning and I said to lighten the background ones, it was because of this bit here, but I can play around and lighten some and darken others. But I'm going to stop in a sec so we can, everything stops for tea. I'm having to accentuate now in real life, if you like. The sky is quite grey, so there's not going to be as much in the way of strong light and darks. So I'm going to enhance the lights and darks, as you can see I'm doing now, just with the black pencil. Can you see how that's bringing that forward, Kath?
Yeah.
Against the, and then we'll do a lighter grey stone, I think, because that was my one fear. I mean, it's interesting actually when you look at the picture. We know the light is coming through those clouds, yet the sides of the stones aren't that dark, are they? Away from the light, like on this one, on this little milk bottle, that doesn't look that much darker than the other side, but I'm going to make it a bit darker because I am a rebel with a pencil. I'm just skimming rather than anything else. maybe something like that, and then if I come in with the white pastel pencil to enhance the light side just in the first instance, before I do anything with other greys. I think this is just going to help me work out lights and darks. Now if I was 1980s Tony Hart, I probably wouldn't do a lot of mid-tone. I'd use the green as my mid-tone because it looks quite cool, but I'm not 1980s Tony Hart, so I won't. You having a cup of tea today, Kath? Or are you? Okay. Well, to save any illegal crimes, I will go and get you one. Can you see how the light and the dark? I'm trying to ease myself into doing the layering of these.
Yeah.
Because it can so easily. My concern is that these are just going to get all
Right line now.
merged together, which is, I mean, they do in the photo though, don't they?
Yeah.
So once the foreground stones are in, then we can play with contrast and either darken or lighten
Right.
accordingly. Because I might need to darken the one. A bit of are you familiar with chiaroscuro?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we might have to darken that one to lighten that one. So we've got pops out. I don't know. I don't know.
Pardon? Stonehenge.
Oh yeah. Nice.
It was a very nice break. Very nice, but yeah, made a nice change.
Juicy. Yes, I'm doing so much for that. But it is nice. Well, I remember it's been quite nice. Cass, would you like a biscuit?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
That too, if you
No,
like.
one will be lovely. Thank you. Oh, hobnob.
I'll just take that up. It's the caffeine one. Yes, caffeine one. Let's take the packet. Yeah, my brother used to live near Avebury. We went there a couple of times.
Nice. I like Yorkshire.
I don't
A
really
nice
know it.
feel to it.
He lived a two-bus in Yorkshire, lived in Yorkshire. And then lived Swindon, but like old bits.
You have a sweetener, don't you?
Sweet.
I like Stonehenge.
Mm. I only went once years ago. I think it was when the day before they did the visitor centre. I think you could actually walk up to the stones in the
I've got
old
a
days.
picture of my mother and my grandmother at Stonehenge in 1974, and they're sitting leaning against the stones.
Cup of teas are good for everything, aren't
I
they?
think so.
Cool down with a cup of tea, warm up with a cup of tea, calm down with a cup of tea.
It's the answer to everything.
It really is. I'm going to use a dark green pencil on the background ones because it looks quite mossy and might help darken it. There's a little bit of brown on the base, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think this is actually nicer than doing the whole Stonehenge
Oh yeah.
because we all know what that looks like. This is quite nice to do. Stick a bit of brown on this. I might even use my grey pencil for these stones rather than a stick. It's difficult to get the texture of this stone, isn't it? Because the really textured bits is the algae, or, well, lichen on it and stuff. But I'm trying to do the lighter bits first, and then I'll go in with some darks. Still liking a bit of green to stay through it, I think. Keep the pencils rather than the blocks. It's a shame that all of the knowledge was never kept or passed down or something, isn't it? And I feel bad that we're so arrogant that we feel that we're better than these people.
Yes.
Because it is an arrogance, isn't it? That we just presume that previous civilizations are stupid. when you look at how they could, tell the time, know the year, you know.
Yeah.
What? You're looking inquisitively, as if you're wondering why I've done something. Because I automatically want to put like scars and lines in there, but there aren't any. There's a few, but not as many as I want to put in. Need any pencil sharpening, Kath? Are you all right?
Well, my grey ones.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm having to redo my grey. I'll do yours next.
thank you.
too much. It's showing the green up far more on my camera than it is. Writers group tonight in the cafe. Oh, I don't know if that's worked. I think I should darken the edges of the distant ones at least in the same depth. The more I look, the more I think, oh, there's a stone there that I didn't put in, and some I might add, some I may not. But I will probably accentuate the shadows a little bit more, because I've deepened the shadows on the actual rocks. So there will have to be shadows on the grass. But I need to do the fallen rocks. think it will work once I've got the grass in. Actually, what's interesting is the grass is in a little mound, isn't it, around them?
Yes, it is.
So if I use the dark green, little zigzags. I might use the dark green to give me that hint of shadow as well. I'm possibly going to be naughty and stick another stone in that's just behind that I was going to leave out, but I think it might work with a bit of depth if I can pop it in. Right, I'm going to have a sip of tea and look at it. What have I done wrong? What's not right? You're looking as if I've done it wrong.
Just taking a keen interest in examining it.
That always worries me.
Oh.
Well, it doesn't look the same as when it's on the screen, does it?
No. No, it doesn't look the same as when it's on the screen.
I think once the texture of the grass is on, it will change the whole thing.
Okay.
Forgotten what this is. Is this rose quartz?
No. I don't know what it is, but it isn't rose quartz. Rose quartz pink.
Forgotten what it is. It's one of those three that I saw on TikTok, and they didn't have a small one.
Did you screenshot it?
Probably did a long time ago.
Do you want it down? What it was?
I'll have to have a look. Right, so a bit of dark green. Grounds it a little bit, just a little bit of the dark green. Now you can stick your shadows anywhere really. I don't want too much, but bear in mind, because this is your light source, your shadows will have to kind of follow some sort of line. My light green pencil through. A few little light green tufts in front of some of the darker green makes it look more like shadow. I've skimmed the pencil, but then I'll do a few little tufty bits. I'll bring this a bit closer so you can see what I mean. ochre. Can't believe it's already half past.
Oh, where's the time gone, Pam?
It's amazing how fast time goes, isn't it? Might need to just darken and lighten a few bits. I keep losing. Every time I blend a bit, I tend to lose a bit. I think that's looking alright. It's just the foreground grassy bit that's the... Because we need it warm, a warmer tone for the grass. I'm going to let that dry for a minute. But weirdly now, because I did say that the sky might start glowing more once the more green we're getting rid of.
Yeah.
And it is giving more of a glowy feel, isn't it?
Yes.
But I also want the grass to be slightly darker here, so we've got a long feeling of depth, but also some warmer tones. But we do struggle with greens, even though we've got loads of. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 greens. And yet, see, I like this colour. I might just skim this over, which it shows up more on the screen.
Pastel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that colour.
Yes,
That one.
that one. Yeah.
It doesn't show up much, but it just needs an extra bit of warmth in the foreground, doesn't it? To
Yeah.
just bring it forward.
Definitely.
And that kind of really helps tie in. And I might just use the green, the dark green pencil in places, I don't know. Or should I skim it? A different green, like a sage green. See, that doesn't feel like sage green.
I think I need.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to play around with just little tufty bits of dark green and light green. Because it's not long grass either, is it?
No.
Foregrounds are notoriously difficult because we need them, but there's always a lot of nothing in them. And with pastels, it's slightly more difficult because, you know, with a brush, you just flick a brush up and down it.
Yeah.
But you've got to do it manually with a pastel or a pastel pencil. Quick look at what next week's is. Are you here for a while now, or are you away again soon?
I'm away in July.
July.
Going to my son's birthday.
Nice.
See my baby.
The windmill next week. In Rawby. I don't know where Rawby is.
Leicestershire, I think.
Is it? So I'm just doing lots of little short lines in light green and then a few in dark green to break it up. It's not showing up massively. I wonder if actually, I'm sure we had a mid-green.
That needs at the back here.
Bit of ochre. green might help for the foreground as well,
Ah,
because
thank
the other
you.
green's a bit too dark.
Yeah.
Yours looks really lovely.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I know figures would actually give the sense of scale, but they're too far away in this picture to make any sense, and they're sort of just over the brow of the plane, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they might look
They look too
like
weird.
dots, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I could probably do one with if I really sharpen the black pencil, but I'm not sure if it would enhance the scene. So I'm just playing around with several shades of green pastel pencil now. Break up the foreground. It's funny how the dark green looks black in places. It's really interesting. don't think there's much more I can do. I feel I want to keep going darker with the stones, but if I keep going darker,
Yeah.
I might end up losing the depth. And I really want to get layers of stone. And I think the only way I can get the layers of stone is by changing the contrast. See if I can see if I can find what the picture looks like next week.
I think I've got to be careful here.
Oh, that's quite nice. Look, next week there's a little bit of a goose.
Oh my giddy arms.
That'd be lovely to do that.
Will it?
Yeah. I think the goose makes it, but I'll get rid of the fence around it. Are you done, do you think?
I don't know. I feel as though I've got to go and have a bit of a.
What, there's a pencil that
There
you
might
think?
be the pencil. Let me think. I've got that one, haven't I?
See, there's a burnt sienna, which is like that colour, but I think that might be
That's
too red.
dark.
Yeah.
I feel as though I want, strangely enough, a sort of a peachy.
Go for it.
Do you know what I mean?
Where are you going to stick
What's
that?
Well, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, coral. Where are you sticking that?
Well,
On your stone?
yeah.
That's one of their Caran d'Ache ones, isn't it? I think.
Lovely, isn't it?
They are gorgeous. I think I am done. Possibly. Oh, the set that you've got out, is there... How many have you got out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there a spare... Is there...
There was one missing there.
Perfect.
Have you got a?
There was one missing. I picked up one off the edge of a table
Yeah.
a week ago or something.
I noticed that when I.
And I thought, I wonder if it's the missing one is on the top, because that would be really helpful. Save me having to go through all the other boxes. And it was, so that's good. think I will just keep ruining it if I do any more.
Let's call it a day, Barry. I
Time
think
to call it a day. Otherwise, we're just going to keep.
We're dobbing, aren't we?
I've skimmed a bit of purple on some of my stone.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, and I like the green.
Yeah, it's more green though on the screen than
Let me see
in real
the
life.
Oh yes, yes. You see, yeah, you've done.
You can
more
see the little bit
grass
of
than me.
purple.
That I've just a minute. I've got another minute or two to copy you.
You have. But I used the dark purple and just skimmed it straight over. 'Cause I wanted to see if it would work. Because then all of the colours tie in together, don't they? You've got your more purple and greys in the sky, and your ochres in the stone and the sky and the grass. So it should work nicely. So yes, windmill next week. And I do hope we'll have V joining us again soon, but she needs to make sure she can A, get up the stairs, and B, sit down for 2 hours.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Because I know when I don't know if I slipped my disc or whatever, in between lockdowns or at the start of 2020 or something like that, I couldn't actually, if I was in the car driving, I was fine, but it was getting in and out, and I needed petrol on my way to work one morning, and I had to text Jackie to say, can you meet me at the petrol station and put the petrol in, because I can't get out the car and back in again in time. I think I'm trying to thieve or something.
Yeah.
And I had a stick, which is very unlike me. Now I'm glad I switched the images. This morning's wouldn't have looked half as good, I don't think, using the other one. We'd still have used the same paper, I think, and it's the same stone and everything, but from a different angle. Although, do you know, looking at that stone, I've made mine more of a milk bottle, and it should actually come out more. That way. That's better. I've enjoyed doing that. I like stones and stuff and skies, and that's been fun. So if you've been joining online or you're doing it later on catch up, do send us what you've done, because I like to see how it looks. Hard to believe we're over halfway through June. Soon be the longest day, won't it? 21st. Is the 21st of June the longest day? Yeah. Official start of summertime. Although we're in our summer weather already. So have a great weekend, whatever you get up to. Dodge the stormy showers in between nice weather. And do let us know when you've done this, because I like to see what you've done. So take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye everybody. Bye bye.